So this is a podcast, and I have to apologise to all of the contestants that have entered the TV presenter competition, because I haven't been able to do any since we did all of the preparation videos. It's just been so frenetically busy. We've had a really exciting week, and I think everybody's enjoyed what we've been putting people through. But of course, when we get people in the studio, we have an issue over confidence, people getting themselves into the right zone. And in this special podcast for the TV presenter contestants, I'm delighted to have a special guest, Lisa Powell, who heads the choreography for Miss England. So I'm going to say hi to Lisa, just check that she's there.
Hi, John, I'm here.
Okay, so Lisa, just tell us a little bit about the sort of things that you do generally around psychology, because psychology, as in all things like sport, governs the way people behave and the performance they put on. So what's your background in terms of training and knowledge on those aspects?
Well, I've worked with the Miss England organisation now for 17 years. So over the years, things have changed. And what I have seen a lot more coming through is girls enter this competition that have suffered from bullying, harassment. They've had their confidence knocked. When they've entered the competition, friends have been quite cruel. And with the up and coming rising of social media, obviously that can be quite harmful for the girls. So it makes them go quite insular. So for me, it's trying to talk to the girls, working through those issues with the girls, and just telling them really how good it is so far to take that first initial step and actually thinking, yeah, let's have a go at the competition. So you've got to take your photo, you've got to put yourself out there, you've got to tell us a little bit about yourself. And I think that's the first step of overcoming some of that awfulness, that bullying, that people pulling you down, you're not good enough, why would people want to look at you? So it's getting to know the girls as well and getting to work with them, because the way you approach everybody has to be different, and it has to be giving them confidence and to believe and trust you.
Do you think that the girls need to work with you to, if you like, do an audit of those subconscious issues or the actual issues that they face, so that you're aware of those and then you can help them overcome them? Is that something that you'd recommend, where when they're starting to work with Miss England, they have that conversation?
I would say it's what they feel comfortable with. Usually I can tell. You get some people that will say, I can't do it, I just can't, I've come here, but no, I can't walk out on that stage. Or, oh, I'm ugly, why would anybody want to look at me, I don't look right in this dress. And it's about saying, no, you're not. You've got to be yourself, and you've got to believe in yourself. Don't let people pull you down. You get out there and you do the best that you can, because a lot of people want to do this and are suffering probably like you are, and you can get that message across and you can help people and give them that confidence too.
Okay, Lisa, so that's exactly the sort of thing that we face when people are coming into the TV studio for the first time, and maybe they haven't faced the camera and either hosted or pitched on their own in a very formal way. So they've got to get into the zone. What is the sort of preparation that somebody who has to step onto the limelight, into the limelight should be going through to get that performance right?
What we're looking for in Miss England is a role model. So it's thinking about, for asking them to think about, what message do they want to get over? Is it about charity? What would they do if they won the competition? How would they promote themselves, or the issues that are very dear to them? Like, for instance, as I say, a lot is bullying and harassment, mental health as well, because as we all know, you can't see mental health. And that's very difficult for people to understand. And work with people with that. It's very easy I think the easy option is for people to try and ignore it, and it's, oh, pull yourself together. And you can't do that. It's a lot deeper than that. So it's saying to the girls, make a few notes, what do you think you're good at? What is your talent? What have you done that you're proud of? And also making them realise if you do make a mistake, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, don't beat yourself up about it. Think of the positives. Think of what you can learn from it rather than focusing on, I did a bad job, I can't do that anymore. We're all human and we all make mistakes at the end of the day.
Okay, so one of the most popular things that we use when people come into the studio, and I know there's an awful lot of it when Miss England people are on stage, is smiling.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on how the smile affects? Because some people would say, oh, you're smiling, it's a bit false. But I've always argued, my background, I did telesales for many years. And if I smiled, I always made a better call. It changed something in me mentally. And then also physically. Did something to my voice. Do you believe that's true with smiling?
Absolutely, because you smile, somebody will smile back. And I think it makes it, I don't know, it makes you feel better about yourself. And it's you're much more approachable, you're much more open then, I think. A smile goes a long way. Yeah.
Okay. So the very first thing people do in our studio is we get them to smile and flash that smile whenever they can, particularly on the final shots. What about the physical things that get you performing well? Stance, breathing, posture, because that's something which I think people like yourself do an awful lot of work with. If I had somebody in the television studio and they had to stand there for 3 minutes or 5 minutes presenting, what should they be doing?
What I say to them is, whatever you do, somebody will be watching. If there's two of you on there, there'll always be somebody that's watching you. So it's about being your posture, keeping your back up nice and straight, looking to camera, smiling, talking probably a little bit slower than what you normally would do, but talk into camera as opposed to keep looking at the person you're interviewing and keeping the shoulders down. Because one of the biggest things is when we get nervous, we go like that. And that automatically, it just ruins it. So it is just that, take the shoulders back, relax, a few breathings before you go out there and just think, you know what, this is my time and I'm going to enjoy myself.
Now, you said something very important there, breathing, because when you've got a script and you're on camera and it's on auto cue, we advise the contestants to work through that script and make sure they've got plenty of commas and full stops in the right place to get the breathing right. So when you're teaching people about using the right breathing techniques, what are the key things that you ask them to do?
What I try and ask them to do is just take the time, listen to the question, because that's important. If they don't understand the question as well, just take a little breath in and say, could you just repeat that question? Could you rephrase the question? Or if you need a little bit of time to think about what you're going to say, repeat the question as well. The main thing is not to rush, because all your words will jumble up and then you'll be out of breath and all you'll hear is this heavy breathing and then everything goes to pot. So it's you've just got to sort of relax, listen to what somebody's saying and then just talk about whatever it is you're asked to do. But it is that sort of breathing within that comes from down below.
Well, sort of like yoga techniques, breathing through your nose to calm and not get into hyperventilation.
Exactly. It's just taking that breath, holding it for a little bit longer than you normally would and just letting it out slowly, just to slow you down.
Yeah, that's something we say to people as well, particularly if they're doing a long presentation, that getting oxygen into the brain is key, because that's what stops that often your fluffs and your panic or your brain suffers when it gets a bit of oxygen starvation. So planning that calm breathing technique, I think, is very, very important. What about the voice itself? Because, with a lot of presenters, when they're in their early stages, they read and they don't use their voice to the full. What are the key things that you counsel on to make their voice interesting?
It's about the highs and the lows and how you use those, because if it's when somebody just talks on one tone like that, and people are going to get bored and they lose interest. And it's those first few words are so important, because if you don't go pow with them, you've lost your audience. You've lost some at least. And you've got to keep it up. You've got to keep that excitement in your voice, and you've got to do the highs and the lows. And it's just thinking about how you're going to say it. So it's just breaking it down.
Is there any acting skills that people need to bring to bear in the way they use their hands, and maybe dramatic pauses as well to emphasize certain things?
Yeah, well, I always say there's nothing wrong with a pause. And also, somebody asks you a question and you don't speak for a while. It's just letting somebody have that little bit of time to speak. Obviously, if they are really struggling, and as a presenter, there's certain things that you can do to sort of encourage them and jog their memories, because what is really hard sometimes for the girls is they can lose the concentration, lose the thread of where they're going. And that's what I see quite a lot, is you, because we've practiced some interview techniques, and they'll start talking and all of a sudden they say, Lisa, I don't know where I'm going from this. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. And it's just like, right, now just think about it, calm down. Think about what the question was and what you want to get across there, and about being yourself, but take your time with that.
That I think is absolutely first class. You give me lots of tips to share with the girls, and because you're the lady that actually puts them through their paces and gets them out on stage shining, I think it'll mean more than me, an old video producer trying to get them to move in certain ways. But I think you've given all the essentials there. Professionally, as a coach, people can work with you through entering Miss England. Are there any other ways that you operate? Do you work freelance? Do you run classes? Are you a consultant? What's your website? Find more.
I work exclusively for the Miss England office. So yeah, we run courses, we run confidence courses, modelling courses, we run all sorts. So you will get all the details from the Miss England website. I think one of the other things, little tips, if I can just say, John, before we go, is I am drama trained. What my drama teacher always used to say to me is, when you speak, you have to open your mouth and not mumble. And he always used to make us start off by saying the vowels, A, E, I, O, U, but over-exaggerating, so we'd actually learn how to form the words and not mumble. So, yeah.
That's great. You've added even more tips, and I'm sure they wouldn't stop, but you've given me an idea. Maybe because we're having so much fun with the Miss England TV presenter competition, and we're sharing quite a bit. It'd be great to team up with you in the future and maybe look at Miss England TV Presenter Mark II and do some training classes here at the Video News Factory for wannabe presenters. So
I'd love to. It's a really exciting project. So yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about it after we've gone over the excitement of the finals at Newcastle at the end of the month. So hopefully I'll meet you there.
Definitely. Oh, thank you.
Okay. So bye from myself at the Video News Factory running the Miss England TV competition. There's still time for the girls to sign up and enjoy what we're doing here. If you're a finalist, go to the Miss England website, the .info. There's a presenter form to register, or you can just simply contact me at the Video News Factory, and its website is www.thevideonewsfactory.com. And we'll get you registered. We still have a week and a half or so of slots for people to have the TV presenter competition experience. So that's it from myself, and Lisa will say bye as well.
Bye, good luck to everybody. Look forward to meeting you all at the finals.
Okay, ciao for now.
Ciao, bye.